what opportunity have you had to evaluate the video from the spring game, and what did you see from your quarterbacks?
You know, the thing I was happy about, now we watched all the spring games, watched it as a staff and watched it as a team. But the thing I liked the enthusiasm, I liked the competition. Still you see a lot of plays being made out there, and still a lot of room for improvement, which is very encouraging to me. Everybody, you're perfect. You're not going to be perfect this time of year, but trying to lay the groundwork for how things are done this summer is going to be very important. Quarterback-wise, I was very happy. I thought DeAndre played a really good ball game. He was asked to do a lot, put a lot on his plate. Thought he had some really nice plays in the game. I was very happy on third down. Thought he was excellent on third down. Even plays not just throw. He created with his legs, created with his arm, made good decisions. Had to short. The first interception was a really good decision, just a hair short throw. Could have cleaned the route up a little bit, but we'll learn from that. He had one before the half that I didn't like, but that's part of growing into that. But the rest of it, he did some nice things, handled the clock, managed the clock. But very happy on third down, red zone situations and things he did. Just in his demeanor, even after he made him, and I like to see him have some failures in those games. I want to see how they react to making a bad play or something goes bad. Everything isn't a perfect world. So from that, I thought JJ, he couldn't get off to a good start, just couldn't get in the groove, but he had a really good spring. He played really well in the spring, had some great scrimmages. It was just disappointing for him. I'm sorry for him because that wasn't indicative of how he played all spring. I thought Malik did a real nice job. A lot of things Malik did, he's still not sure about what's going on, but he has a great knack and an instinct for doing things right. Now it's going to be very interesting to see how he grows from this, in the discipline and really understand what to do in the summer and going into camp. But he's accurate, he hit things, made some throws to the wrong side, but he has a knack for just putting the ball where he has to put it, very instinctive, and manage the clock and play with a lot of poise. After the first series too, you could see he was a little nervous, and once he got in the flow of it, did a nice job. So those three guys, I think we're in a good position there and get Sean back in the summer, and then hope to see where we go in the fall.
So you starting out open competition?
Oh, every position's open. I say that, I joke. I'm truthful. That's it. Yeah, there's no doubt. Best player's going to play everywhere.
You said Sean's number one though going in.
Well, he's number one. But and out of respect him what he's done. Yeah. But all those guys, him and right now DeAndre's definitely earned some time with the ones, and they'll be rotated. We'll move guys around and do all that. So it's going to be a wide open deal, and that's no disrespect to Sean. It's just we got to do it every year.
Now, do you kind of flip a switch from coach to ambassador with these sort of events? You now get to go meet the fans a little bit?
Yeah, I do, but still, you do still do both. And I think seeing the coaches, I think, is still really good. You got to be an ambassador, you got to talk, you got to do your things you have to do, but at the same time, I think the fans want to see the truth, and the coach is going to put out there, and that's kind of the way I handle it.
Coach, you got the IPF, locker room, get new scoreboards in, player dorms, all that stuff. What's next? What would you like to see done next?
There's no doubt. I think an academic support system and an academic facility, I think, is going to be very critical, because I think the way the number of athletes and the way things are going right now, and Florida State is a tremendous academic school right now. Criteria for getting in school there, and the classes are all very demanding and very tough, and I think we got to have the support systems around those kids to make sure they're doing, because that's still the number one reason, to be a good person, to get a great degree, and then play ball. And I think an academic center and a lot of support in those areas, I think, are very critical for the future of not only Florida State. I think it's one of the things that's got to happen in college football and in college sports, and making sure these guys are getting an education. And it was very good, but I think that we just got to stay up with the times and keep surrounding those guys with support systems to keep developing them as people, making sure they understand situations, how to recognize bad situations, how to see good situations, to stay into and get out of bad ones, and keep developing as people and all the different things that go on. And I think also, in keeping those programs in place to help these kids understand the pressures they're under now. Because kids, make no mistake, kids are under more pressure now than they've ever been in college athletics ever, because of the exposure, social media, who they are, what goes on, expectations and things. And I think helping these kids deal with that and cope with that so they can perform well as a person, as a student, and as a player.
What's the update on Dalvin Cook? How's he doing?
Doing well. His surgeries went really well. He's rehabbing really well, and we expect him to hopefully by the middle of June, beginning of June, he'll be running full speed, and then when camp comes, he'll be ready to go.
Jimbo, how are things going with with Kids First? And are these visits to booster clubs valuable in any way for increasing more awareness?
I think anytime it is, and I think those people are aware of what goes on, and I think it is very critical. But things are going tremendously with Kids First. I think we're raising as much money as we ever have, but we're bringing more awareness to what's going on, and also the developments, as you'll read, what's going on in that world, and I think there's going to be an article coming out here pretty soon about that. We did some extensive research. They had some of the, Tom went with us up to Minnesota and followed us, and I think he did some research with the doctors and how the life expectancies now are growing, how the treatments and everything is getting so much better, and Kids First is having a huge impact on that. And I can't thank the people who are doing that and the people who are making the awareness, so great now. It's great, and we're only going to get better.
So there have been some.
Oh yeah, a lot of progress.
There have been some victories.
Not Vic, but also understand how to transplant, life expectancies, how to deal with the situations. There's no cures yet, but life expectancies are growing, how they treatments. I mean, everything just getting better and better and better, and they feel like they're on the verge of trying to do that. And Kids First is laying a big foundation for that.
Talk about the maturation of DeMarcus Walker. When he left here, he was a quiet kid. Over the years, he's grown into a real leader for your defense.
Well, I think his confidence has grown. I'm going to tell you what. Now, you talk about a guy who's a true team player, puts his heart and soul in everything he does, loves Florida State, loves his football team, and is a great teammate. And I'm going to tell you, is a really, 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 really good football player. I mean, he is productive, plays the run, plays the pass, can create pressure. Even when he doesn't, he got a sense of getting the bat and balls. He's just a natural football player, and everything he does is to make it better. He's doing really well in school right now. He's playing tremendous football. It was one of our co-Heismans in the spring, and I can't say enough good things about him. If we had all Marcus Walker, we'd be in great shape.
Do you have any plans to do some different things with him, moving around at all?
Well, I mean, we may. We'll see. Just let's see what the personnels are and what goes on.
Tim, you had a couple players with pretty significant medical issues. I'm thinking of Chad Mavetti, Lorenzo Featherston. Any update on them? Or they?
Mavetti, I mean, it's still evaluating, but it was a medical issue that I don't go in great detail about. But it's something that we didn't foresee, and he didn't foresee. Both those guys, we had big plans for. I mean, Chad is as talented a lineman as we got. I mean, when you go watch him play, just really getting in the system, and I mean, he was an NFL guy for sure, and Featherston was too, and had 4 or 5 great days out there at practice. And just feel like, and I doubt Featherston most likely will be a medical DQ. Unfortunately, that's not something I want to do or have any ambition to. I mean, he was a really significant player.
You need to process some stuff before he's medical DQ.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to do that, but that's what's going to happen, and that's what he wants to do with he has a knee and some things, and it's unfortunate because that guy was a player.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's parts of football, and that's hopefully we've recruited well and be able to fill in those spots.
Is that going to hurt your depth a little defensively with Leonard moving there?
Yeah, it is, but we'll bring some guys in, and the way we play 3-4, 4-3, stand at the backers, play nickel, all the different things, we got some great options there, and we have a lot of guys between some of those backers that can be inside or outside guys, and how you play the packages, and we have a plan for that.
Kareem R was recognized in the spring.
I'm sorry?
Kareem R was recognized in the spring with award. Can you just talk about what you saw from him this spring and how he improved?
I don't know if there's anybody who has a bigger heart than Kareem, or it means more to. And I say that on a team, I think there's a lot of guys that think like that. But, man, that guy puts his heart and soul in it. Everything, you can coach him hard, you can coach him. And everything, he tries to please you and do everything. And he's made significant strides at that guard position, which I think is very critical technically, you know what I mean? And really become a technician and controlling his body and doing things. And, I love him. I really do.
Obviously, the spring game in Orlando was a big success, Coach. And obviously, you wouldn't want to do something like that permanently. But would you be in favor of maybe every few years putting it in maybe a Jacksonville 1 year or South Florida, something like that every few years?
If it could benefit us, yes. I mean, there's some great things to it with the fans. There's also some things in recruiting you wish you could show your facilities off. Just depends on the scenarios. But yes, that was a great venue. They did a great job, and whatever, you'll never say never in this business. And I say that all the time about a lot of things. So sometimes that is a good thing to do, and we may be able to do that again. But I was very appreciative of the fans coming out, and I thought it was just a beautiful day.
Jimbo, Rick Cattle's people are kind of optimistic that.
I'm sorry?
Rick Cattle's people, the city, are kind of optimistic they can get you here in 2019 to open the season. Any closer to getting an opponent?
Yeah, we've talked, and some people, I don't know if we're any closer in that regard, but that's something we were definitely contemplating and trying to accomplish and get done.
Is there a particular opponent that you would want?
No, I don't think. I mean, you don't know that. You have to wait and see how everybody's schedule is, and you call around people. Opponents come flying out of there, but you got to get a great opponent. I think it's also important to play the right kind of person in that opening game. I mean, that has a lot out there. I think it's a significant game. I think those are very critical. But excuse me, but you got to wait and see who else's schedule will allow that.
This is the first of, speaking of that, 2 years in a row you're playing pretty significant opponent on a neutral site to open a season. I mean, that's really got to change a lot of things. So you're right off the bat, you're getting in a major.
Oh, it does. I think hopefully it'll make your summer better, guys more focused, and I think how you go into camp, and sometimes you got to change camp a little bit. I think, you know, how you come out of camp and how serious you get, and identifying things maybe a couple of days earlier, getting more practices in, and identifying some things. I mean, we'll have to learn our new players, but you know, we're gonna have to be ready right out of the gate.
Is the other motivation just financial? Because you usually, some of them, you're going to get more money than you can get for a home game.
There's no doubt. I mean that, and also I think it's also good in your scheduling now. I think it, you know, gives you significance out there, and it makes you a presence in recruiting, makes you a presence in, you know, you win those games even if you play them. I don't think there's really a big default in if you're not as successful in them because of the quality of opponent you're playing.
Good.